Hello, I'm Edward Sebombo. This is Mityana, Uganda. I want to welcome you to Bobo Eco Farm here in Lagala, a farmer training center. So please come with me and I show you Bobo Eco Farm. We started by producing food for my family, and when we produced the crops, they failed because of the long sun, the long droughts, and also our poultry failed because we couldn't feed them properly, and also the piggery project we had started. And so I moved around the community to see how other farmers are doing. And they were also failing, and they were suffering, and everybody was failing. So what I saw is that all of us are faced with similar challenges, and we are hopeless, in a hopeless situation. The whole community was in a hopeless situation. So what I decided to do was to invest myself in finding solutions for farmers, for other farmers, so that at least one of us can be the source of encouragement, can be the source of solutions. Now, I started moving around the country. I started moving around the whole East African region, in Kenya, in Tanzania, looking at what other farmers are doing about the challenges we have, the challenges of the high cost of feeds, the challenge of the scarcity of animal feeds, the challenge of the prolonged droughts where farmers are losing all their crop, the challenge of the poor soils. And so I started moving around, talking to different farmers. How are you managing this problem? How are you managing this? And also checking around the internet. I came up with different solutions. That is when Bobo Eco Farm was born, with the mission to develop innovative solutions for farmers to improve their productivity, to improve their incomes, and to increase their resilience to climate change. And so my aim of doing Bobo Eco Farm is to transit smallholder farmers from subsistence farmers to commercial farmers who are able to develop themselves, who are able to move from producing food to eat, and then have a bigger future where they can even contribute to national development. So 15 years ago, that is in 2008, I started with a few projects: bee farming, beekeeping, and earthworms. We started also researching on other insects, because we knew that is one way to improve our soils. Like earthworms, they are earthcast. What they consume can be good soil amendment. And then the bees, you could produce minus using the soil. So we started a beekeeping project, but also we started putting up a mango orchard. We also had an orange orchard, and we started putting up the different crops. Now, with the time, we started transiting even to other insects, because the community had shown a bit afterwards, a bit of interest in insects. And then we moved to doing research and development on the black soldier fly. We also started researching on the cockroaches, because the cockroaches, they are a problem in our homes, and there are so many, and they are thriving. But with the cockroaches, what I saw, they were in my books, and when I put them out to chase them away from the books, the hens were running after them. So I thought, these are really good. They can be food for the poultry. So we started insect farming alongside with the other fruit trees, because we know that agroforestry, when you plant the crops and the trees, you can reforestate our country, because so many trees have been cut down, and that is a reason for the prolonged droughts. And we want to reclaim, to bring back the environment into a better state. And so we started putting up, also planting some fruit trees and other trees alongside other crop farming. Now, our farm here is a research farm. We are developing innovations, and no one person has all the knowledge alone. You need the cooperation of others, the input of others. And so we started to build houses, the cottages, where researchers can come and stay and collaborate with us, where they can give us their new ideas, where we can exchange ideas, where we can develop prototypes, new innovations. So we started putting up the cottages, but also for our staff, where they can stay. And so we started building up all these infrastructures. And it has taken us time developing all this over 15 years. I remember just having a breakthrough with the Black Soldier flight. It took us 8 years to have a proper working prototype. And every time you work, and they sometimes fail, and then you work again and work again. So we have built this infrastructure over time. But we are also trying to put up infrastructure for farmers to learn from, where they can stay when they come to learn, like the lady farmers. They need the infrastructure where they can stay. And so, yes. This is Bobo Eco Farm. We have different innovative solutions here. The farm has been here for 15 years. This is a water collection tank. This tank is built without iron bars, without burnt bricks. It is just a small layer of plaster and a small mesh inside, and that is all. We do it in this fan-like structure so that water does not have capacity to break it. And this tank is able to hold over 13,000 liters. And we have other innovations here. We have, for example, a place where we normally catch the water. Farmers in this country, you find that farmers sometimes they go through seasons where they have food, and shortly after, when there is a dry season, they say now they don't have food. And simply because the sun has come, there is a drought. However, every day farmers wash clothes, they shower, and all that water is wasted. So what we are teaching farmers, all that water, you can collect it and then use a water hydrant to clean that water. And when you clean it, just in 2 weeks, the roots of the water hydrant are able to take out all those materials, like the materials that come with the washing detergents. They can be cleaned from that water, and you use that water to irrigate your crops. You will have food all year round. You can even plant that food off season and then get a higher pay of your vegetables during that season. So we are asking farmers to start embracing small, less costly techniques to be able to adapt themselves to the changing climate situation and be resilient to the shocks. That's part of what we do. This this is an astarium. Because we feed our animals on, we don't have any waste here, including the animal dung. We feed it onto the worms. And now if animals are fed on synthetic drugs, as for example dewormers, we are not sure about the potency of those drugs in the dung of our animals. And so we might kill or weaken our insects. So what we do, we use some of these herbal remedies, like an astarium as a dewormer for our animals. And so we make sure that the dung we are going to use is really safe for our insects. And so we are encouraging farmers to use some of these natural remedies. In that way, we are also asking other researchers, like research institutions and universities, they can come and work with us on this to establish the abilities of this, to establish the dosage, and either to characterize it as preventive or curative. We have many of these remedies. And so these are research areas to improve on what we are doing at this farm. This is one of the fruits we have. It's in the passion family and can give, people can get juice from that. And this is a natural thunder arrester. This is a natural thunder arrester. It's a cactus, and what we normally do, we ask farmers to plant them in their farms so that in case of thunder and lightning, it is arrested and contained in this. And this fruit is also in the family of the passion fruit. Now, this fruit mainly, when you look at the orientation of this fruit, we have herbalists in this country. These are guys who are not schooled at all, have not been to school, but they get natural remedies from forests and they give people, and actually people are doing well. But we normally ask ourselves, how do they get the science? Now, we have what we sometimes call the law of signature. When you look at a plant or a fruit and relate it with your body organ, you can relate with what it can affect. Now, when you look at this one, what do you think it looks like? It's like testicles. And probably it has some use for something for the men. And so we want to say, use your environment, use nature. Nature can heal nature without using very strong synthetic drugs. I want to show you the place where we are doing our mealworm production. This is the center where we do mealworm farming. You can enter with me. This is our mealworm rearing facility. Joel and Juliet, my colleagues who run this place, and you can see one of the things they do is to separate the life stages, to separate the pupa stage from the larval stage, and then we have like the larval stage of the mealworm, and this is about to be ready for harvesting. And so this is the place where we produce. This facility is, we are growing the stock, but it is able to produce up to 11 tons of mealworm per month. That is the capacity of this facility. This is the yellow mealworm. It's called Tenebrio molita. And it's full of It has over 60% protein. It has a lot of protein content, and this is good for human consumption. And we are promoting this, the growing and the consumption of mealworm in communities and in the schools. Mealworm is easy to produce because we use some of these things in the community which we no longer need to use, like maize bran, the byproduct of making posho from maize. These are pseudostems of bananas. They use them as a source of water for their consumption. And so things we wouldn't need, we use them to produce. And we are empowering communities with this knowledge and with the kits to see that they can produce and improve their nutrition. They improve their health and also their incomes because they can sell this and get money. So on this site we have three processes going on. We have the breeding center of the black soldier fly larvae, and then we have the nursery where we incubate the eggs and then we transit them to the larvae rearing. And so let's move to the breeding centers. We have these units, and this is where we have the flies laying the eggs. Now, this process here, we have the flies here laying the egg, mating from this cage, and they go down here and they lay the eggs. And then we can first see the whole unit, and then I can show you the one by one process. Let's talk about this process. Here in this unit, here in this unit, we have the fly, the black soldier fly, laying the eggs here in this unit, where we pick the eggs and take them to the nursery. Now, the different sections of this process, this is what we call the larve cage. The larve cage is where we have the insects mating. Here at this place, they need three factors. They need the right temperature, which should be at this location between 27 to 32 degrees. It does very well for them. You need the right level of humidity, which should be between 30 to 70 relative humidity. And then you have the direct rays from the sun, the blue wavelengths of the sun. Then they do the mating here. Normally, the male black soldier fly is sitting on this mesh, and then the female is flying around, and then the male intercepts the female, and they start the mating in the air, and they only go down to complete the mating. Now, after mating, like 30 minutes they are there, then they go down in this chamber to lay the eggs. Now, what we do normally, we put an attractant down this side, where they come and lay the eggs. For example, they come and they lay eggs like this. They come and lay eggs on these. They lay eggs on these structures, and each of these can be up to 1,000 eggs, between 300 to 1,000 eggs. A lot of eggs you can pick from here. What we do, we put an attractant inside here. The attractant pulls the female flies from laying from up here, and they come and it directs them to where they should lay eggs. So every morning we come and pick eggs from here and take them, or every 2 days. We are really happy because despite all the challenges along the journey, it's been a fruitful journey. Because now you can see in the 15 years now, we have been able to reach 965 smallholder farmer families who we have trained in the production of the black soldier fly larvae. So they are able to feed their poultry and be able to cut down on the cost of producing, and they are increasing their incomes, but they are also able to get the frass, the byproduct of the production process, and it is an organic fertilizer which they are able to put into their farms and improve food productivity and increase food security. Now, the 965 families are able to look after over 4,800 beneficiaries. That's a great success on our side. We have been able to reach 10 schools to equip them with a kit to be able to produce the yellow mealworm, so that they are able to fortify the meals of the school children with a protein source, an insect protein source. And those are over 21,650 students who we are able to reach. And we have worked in partnership with the East West Seed Foundation. We have introduced the production of pumpkin in women groups in conjunction with the women NGO Mothers Against Malnutrition and Hunger. And they are able now to produce pumpkins. They are making products, they are making porridge, which they are able to use in their homes to improve their nutrition, but they are also selling and getting some income, and we are seeing them improving their livelihoods.